By now, all of you probably know that Timmy has a different version of Pokemon Night for China. They're even just already holding tournaments to showcase this version. So in today's video, actually I feel like it's quite exciting because this could also maybe be the future of Unite in general. We're gonna take a look at this game and try to analyze a bit. I know the quality is not the highest. I sadly don't have an account for this website, so I'm kind of locked into, you know, 360p. But we're gonna try our best because the game looks so much different, and honestly, I like it a lot. You can see already very early evolutions, as you can see right here. Like, every single Pokemon evolves much, much faster into the game, which, I mean, I guess kind of makes the middle stages kind of useless looking, but at the same time, I do kind of like it because I always wanted a game to be a bit more faster paced. Also, you can see already, Rollout Really Tough is reworked. You can roll wherever you want, just following your cursor. I mean, that's honestly an amazing change. And you can even walk while gleaming. I just thought this, but you can see everyone is evolving very, very fast, and the game is much earlier. Like, it starts much earlier. We already saw Registeel as well, giving 8 points there, and a small buff, I feel like, to everyone who's maybe around. Regirock on top path. You can see the Gardevoir currently has the Regirock buff. Talon has the Registeel. So there's different buffs. There's a Balloon. We saw a Chameleon flying away there. Brave Bird goes out. And we already have the first Rotom spawning right here at just 1 minute. You can see the game's already so active, so fast-paced, really tough rolling around. Maybe you can even increase the roll duration by bouncing into walls, but you can just roll around. We already have Charizard in just 1 minute of the game. And fights are just starting. So what I've noticed, like, this version is very fast. Games can be longer than 10 minutes, though. And the goal is to score 500 points. Whoever scores 500 points first is going to win. ZAPDOS still exists, but it's much, much different, as it is kind of like a Rotom. Like, ZAPDOS is pretty much an empowered Rotom, or empowered Regieleki. So you can see, I mean, they're playing on Remote Stadium, but yeah, this Really Tough looks crazy. So Really Tough can just roll out around and also gleam without having to stand still. That would be a huge buff to Really Tough if you would get this as well. So now Rotom's gonna walk forward, and I think this version had no overcaps, if I'm correct. I think we will see if they are going to have like some overcap, but I think overcapping doesn't really exist. So it would also be, no, maybe not as frustrating, maybe, if you lose a lot of points, but I assume it still gives experience too. So you can see Dragapult level 6 as well, Gardevoir level 6, Talon level 7, so everyone is currently evolved. Blastoise level 5, so even on level 5 already, you have the fine evolution, which just makes the game more fun early on. We have a Dreadnought spawning in the middle of the map actually right here. Not sure if this gives us experience like the old one did, or if it does anything else as well. But looks like it just gives something. Looks like it gives global experience and a shield, so what old Dreadnought did. But instead of spawning bot, it spawns in the middle for instant team fighting. It's actually crazy how much action there is. It feels so much more like a brawler. It's actually crazy. There's so many objectives going on, and the game is just much faster paced. We have Fire Punch there for Charizard. And the next Rotom already spawned on bot, so they're going to keep on rotating, spawning, and you just, you know, you have to score points. I mean, that's the point of Unite, right? Scoring points. Another Rotom being taken. Let me know in the comments if you would prefer this or not. Maybe for some of you it would be too hectic as well. You're like, there's too much going on. We have bees right here spawning. But like, you can see there's pretty much no laning phase, right? People are just playing the game actively instead of just, you know, I feel like on our versions so often there's nothing happening for like half a minute. We just have to stand on our goal and wait for white Pokemon to spawn. And it doesn't seem like that existing here. Like, there's always something to do, always. There's not something else on bottom spawning. They just picked up maybe another Registeel, I'm not sure. But there's always something spawning. There's always an objective up you can do, you can fight for. So yeah, maybe it's a bit too hectic though. But of course, this is still like alpha or beta version. I think it's the beta now. So there's still a lot of things they can fine tune if they're not happy with this. But just seeing a tournament already on this is quite wild. Another Rotom being taken. It walks in. And now they can destroy the goal. I want to see how many points. 60. See, I think it just... But they have 60 points, but the goal was... maybe the Rotom doesn't count towards the end score. That might actually be it. I'm not sure, but they only have 60 points by breaking a goal. But these goals have 80, right, max? Yeah, they have 80 max. Okay, interesting. So I'm not quite sure why they have 60 points, but I guess the Rotom might just not count towards the overall score, which would be kind of weird. There's this balloon flying out. That actually looks so funny. It just... I mean, it looks like a more safe eject button, I guess. Really Tough is rolling around. Also quite nice. And God of Unite onto the goal. I wonder how low the cooldowns of the Unite moves are, because I feel like they might even be also a bit lower, seeing how fast the game is. But it's just fights, fights, fights. There's another thing spawning on the left. I think another Rotom probably spawning right here. It also spawns more to the left, so I guess depending on who destroys the goal first, it's also kind of moving like a Taria. There's just a random, like a random Regirock spawning, so I didn't even get rid of these either. And honestly, this feels much more like a MOBA, honestly, compared to what we have, I feel like. So I would be very hyped to play this version, or try it out at least. I don't know if it would be, like, over long term better. But, yeah, it looks very interesting, very fast-paced. So much action going on. I don't know if it would be more snowbally is the question. Yeah, okay, the Rotom walked in, but it didn't cost them any points. I'm not quite sure how some of these points work. Another fight breaking out the mid right here. They're just using their stuff. They also have more customization. Gardevoir flying around with the balloon again. It looks so funny. And a really tough rolling around. I mean, the Rotor looks insane. That you can just do it wherever you want. I mean, that's literally one of the changes that will probably make Wigglytuff instantly viable with this build. I mean, if you have Altaria spawning, they're trying to go for a score. Fire Blast looks massive. Look at that Fire Blast. What? I think it could be one of those... Like, they have ways of making... Oh, so yeah, now it's 60. You can't overcap. So you had 60, 80 points. And now they have 140 in total. And you always see the number on top as well. Like, you see the points. We have this spawning in mid. I always forget what's called, Avalak or something. So they have so many bosses just all in this one map. They pretty much just combined all of the mechanics of, like, the three maps, Thea, Sky Ruins, Remote Stadium, into kind of one map. That's what it feels like. Another Rotom spawning over here. The goal is still up. The Rotom is more on the left side. And this looks like it's also walking towards goals. Okay. How many points does this have? But it has 80 points, I think it stores. And if it just walks in, it scores for you. That's crazy too. I think that's what it was there. It had 80 points, and it just walks into the goal, it scores on its own for your team. It's going to keep on walking until you KO it. So you can see there's a lot of objectives that just, if it push towards your goals. And you have to defend, you have to push, you have to fight for the objectives, and you can never just rest. Like, there's no resting, which is, I mean, I think it's quite fun. Again, and I think in our version, too often, we just kind of stand still and just do absolutely nothing for a while. So, yeah. You can't do this here. There's no chance. You can't just wait for late game either. Of course, again, ZAPDOS exists, but ZAPDOS is also a bit different. You're going to see later on. I think ZAPDOS spawns still at 8 minutes, if I'm correct. And I think there's also double time, or like double points after 8 minutes. So currently we see blue team or purple team preparing for it. For this side. And another Rotom spawning. But we have no healer Pokemon on both sides. I mean, I feel like healer Pokemon might be not the greatest with this kind of version. Could be difficult because you just have to... I mean, you have to just brawl everywhere. Just run around. Get objectives. So there we go. ZAPDOS has spawned. But ZAPDOS is kind of like, again, it's a better version of Regieleki. Or Rotom. You're going to take it and it's going to walk towards the lane. And then you can see it's actually quite tanky looking. Much tankier than before. Maybe? I mean, they're not really doing it right now. They're kind of going for it now. But it does look like it has more HP. Red team knows they can't, or orange team knows they can't go for it, so now, but they're just going for the Gardevoir as 5. So ZAPDOS is pushing top now, and they decided not to go with it. But ZAPDOS is still on the halfway, so they can maybe just go towards bot as well. Okay, see the game, I mean the game can end in this push as well, but it doesn't have to mean, they still already killed ZAPDOS now. ZAPDOS walks up, it goes down before the goal, they're going to try to go for a bot cap instead. These goals have 120 points now. And they're able to score only one time, and not actually might get wiped. And I think now the next ZAPDOS is already spawning in 2 seconds again. So, after 8 minutes, there's a ZAPDOS spawning every 15 seconds once it's taken down. Which sounds crazy. So straight up from one ZAPDOS fight into the next ZAPDOS fight, into the next ZAPDOS fight, until someone scored 500 points. That's quite ridiculous. And I feel like this makes the game more exciting, because in our version, winning sometimes feels very anticlimactic, right? Because there's still 1:30. You know which team has won, but there's still 1 minute 30 to go on the timer. So either you just win by a surrender. There's no like You know, in other MOBAs, there's like a nexus or like a final objective going down, a final goal going down, final turret, whatever, a final base. And in our version, it's just nothing. Like, sometimes winning feels very anticlimactic. So the ZAPDOS is actually quite tanky, but they're not really committing for it either. So another ZAPDOS taken, this time again by Purple Team. As they're going to keep on going here. Dragapult getting Ice Fanged. Can I just also feel like, I don't know if they look a bit tanky or not sure. But yeah. I mean, I think this looks very fun. Personally. Just so much more action-packed. So now ZAPDOS is pushing towards bot. It activated this goal. But it's just going to wait here as well until you destroy the goal. So they still didn't win right now. They got the second ZAPDOS. And, but they're not really committing for these pushes sometimes. So now it's going to activate this goal again. But ZAPDOS will not just walk on its own into it. It only activates the goal, and that's it. Also quite interesting. But they're also Rotom pushing, so they have to defend both lanes at the same time right now, which they do. But now that Zora can sneak in, score 100, and now they're up to... Oh no, he can't score 100! There's no overcapping. He just destroys the goal, which puts him to 260 points. As ZAPDOS goes towards the middle base. But it gets stopped before it can activate the middle base. I mean, if ZAPDOS walks in the middle base, it's almost game over, but you can still at least like KO your opponents before they walk in. And, guys, the next ZAPDOS is spawning in 3 seconds. There we go, ZAPDOS spawns again. And you have to go for it again. But I feel like Purple Team has done a bad job pushing with it so far. They really have not committed for it for some reason. And Slowbro's getting jumped on. Slowbro counter Unite moves Charizard, both pressing Unite on each other. And I mean, I feel like Purple Team has not committed for like a ZAPDOS push towards the main base. Another Rotom spawning on top. There's still like mini objectives as well. It looks like Purple Team first wants to go to Rotom to pressure top goal, and then they're gonna set up ZAPDOS. We're currently 11 minutes 40 in. I think the average game time again is like 9 to 15 minutes on this version. But 15 minutes probably not, like I think like 9 to 13. But yeah. So I feel like this could maybe be the final one. We'll see how strong it is. Which I think is still very good, like time-wise, right? I don't want to go to 20 minutes, but I think between like 8 and 15 minutes is honestly perfect. Actually, oh, they lose this Rotom. They're not committing for ZAPDOS. They're not, like, it's too tanky, I guess, right? The ZAPDOS, actually. So I'm just going to keep on doing this. Rollout really going forward. As now Orange Team is going to start up ZAPDOS again. But I guess this also could kind of, like, this version could kind of turn into stalemates. Right? As, like, there's no time running out. Maybe there should still be like a finite time running out. Like, if the game doesn't end at 15 minutes, one team is going to win. You know? Or like, the 15 minutes is max time, and if no team has done 500 points yet by 50 minutes, which it could be, honestly, might as well be, I'm not sure, one team is going to win. I feel like it would also be like a good thing. Because then it would still force teams to do something, right? Because they have to do something. But if neither team is forced to do anything, it's kind of weird. So, yeah. Purple Team wins another fight as they're going to claim their third ZAPDOS of the game. Third ZAPDOS of this game. And this time it's going to push towards the middle. It straight up walks down mid path. Through the enemy central. Let's see if it can activate the goal of Orange Team, can stop it one more time. But no, they actually, it walks through. Wait. They're holding it right now. They're holding it. Purple Team is still not pushing with it. But I think it activated the goal now. I don't think I managed to stop it. Is it in? Yeah, there we go. ZAPDOS in the main base now. And now Purple Team can just walk in, score 2 times, and the game is over. 500 points. I mean, let me know what you think about this version. I think it's very interesting. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel.